Hey guys, welcome back. Today I'm going to be showing you guys how I go about doing my favorite drugstore dewy foundation routine. I'm going to show you guys all my favorite products that I like to use when I want my foundation to look extra dewy and glowy. And I also show you like the products that I use to help it last longer throughout the day. Though I find that with the foundation I'm going to use today, which is the L'Oreal True Match Lumi, I do find that it lasts really good all day long. So if you guys would like to see how I go about doing my favorite dewy foundation routine, just keep on watching and I'm just going to go ahead and get into the tutorial. So the very first thing that I do, especially whenever I'm doing a dewy foundation routine, I like to prime my face with a primer that's going to fill in my pores because I kind of have larger pores and I have some acne scarring around here. And I find that sometimes with dewy foundations, they can accentuate like pores or, you know, if you have scars like that on your face. So my two favorite primers that I like to use is either the Maybelline Baby Skin Instant Pore Eraser or the Benefit The Porefessional, which I have a little travel or like sample size of it. But I'm just going to go ahead and use the baby skin today because I'm doing like a drugstore tutorial, and this is honestly one of my all-time favorite primers. I like it just as much as the Benefit Porefessional. So yeah, if you want a cheaper option, I highly recommend this one. And I'm almost out of this, so hopefully I have enough. And then with this baby skin primer, like I just will press it into the skin like this, and this will just get it into your pores. So I'm just gonna put this primer like right here in the center of my face, like around my chin, on my nose, and slightly like right up here on my forehead, just anywhere where my pores are a little larger. And if you don't have very large pores, you could probably skip this step. And I have a lot of favorite dewy foundations, but my all-time favorite is the L'Oreal True Match Lumi Healthy Luminous Makeup. I love this foundation for like a luminous foundation just because it makes your skin look luminous and glowy, but it doesn't look too glowy. And it also lasts a really long time on my skin. It has great medium to full coverage. So yeah, I just love this. I love the way that the bottle looks. Like, it looks so high end. I love the fact that it comes with a pump. And the shade that I use is N1-2, which is Soft Ivory, Classic Ivory. And I'm just going to dot this foundation all over my face. And then I went ahead and dampened my Real Techniques Miracle Complexion Sponge. And I'm going to be using that today to blend this foundation into the skin. So I hope you can see on camera that this foundation, it does have like a luminous finish to it. But it's not like so dewy that it looks greasy on your skin. And my favorite concealer that I like to use when I'm doing a dewy foundation routine is the Maybelline Superstay Better Skin Concealer. And the shade that I use is in the shade Light. I really like this concealer because it does have a little bit of like a luminous finish to it. So it goes really great with foundations that are more on the dewy side, because sometimes it can look a little weird when you have like a dewy foundation and like a really matte looking concealer on your under eye area. So I'm just going to put this underneath of my eyes in a triangle shape just to highlight a little. And then I am going to put a little bit of this down the center of my face, and then I'm going to go in with my Real Techniques sponge and just blend in this concealer. Then before I set my foundation and everything, when I want my skin to look extra dewy, I like to go in with like a cream highlight, and then at the end I'll go in on top of that with a powder highlight. This is one of my favorite cream highlighters. This is the Maybelline Master Strobing Stick Illuminating Highlighter, and this is in the shade Light Iridescent 100. And what I like to do with this, I like to roll it up like this, and then I will get a little bit of this product here on my Real Technique sponge. And then I'll just take that and lightly like just bounce it on my cheeks. And the reason why I like to apply it this way is just so it does not cake up with the foundation. Sometimes I find that if I just go straight in with the stick, even before I've set the foundation, it can tend to cake up with it. So if you have that problem, just use like a dampened sponge whenever you go to apply it. So I hope that you can see once I applied that cream highlight that it did like bring some more luminosity like to my cheekbone area. And then with this foundation, I do like to set the foundation and the concealer just to ensure that it's going to stay put all day. And I do like to use the L'Oreal True Match Super Blendable Powder. Now with this powder, when you first go to set it, it will kind of tone down the luminosity, but throughout the day, it does allow that luminosity to peek back through, but at the same time, it helps to just keep your foundation in place. And the shade that I use is N1 Soft Ivory, and I'm just going to use my e.l.f. Kabuki brush to press that powder into the skin. Then to set my under eye concealer to keep it from creasing, I like to use my NYX Highlight and Contour Pro palette and the second shade here. And then I'm just going to use my e.l.f. blush brush to just lightly dust that on my under eye area just to set it and just to keep it from creasing. Then I went ahead and did my eyes and my lips. For the rest of my face, whenever I do my dewy foundation routine, for my bronzer, I like to use a bronzer. I like to use a bronzer that has I have lipstick on my teeth. Dang it, that always happens to me. I like to use a bronzer that has a little bit of a sheen to it. So one of my favorite bronzers for that is the Wet n Wild ColorIcon bronzer in the shade Ticket to Brazil. It's just such a great bronzer. And I'm just going to use my Real Techniques large powder brush. And I just bronze up my face with just a little bit of this bronzer. And like I said, it's good to use like a bronzer with a little bit of a sheen whenever you do like a dewy makeup look. It just brings everything together, and sometimes it can just look really weird when you use like a matte bronzer when you're doing, you know, a glowy foundation routine. So I'm just going to put that in the areas where the sun would naturally bronze my face up. And then I do like to bring some here on my neck just to warm my neck up. I feel like my hair is getting all in my face. Then for my contour, I'm just going to go in with my NYX contour, my Highlight and Contour Pro palette, and my Real Techniques sculpting brush. I'm going to grab some of this color here, and I'm just going to lightly contour. And then I do recommend a matte contour though, just because like a shimmery one can look unnatural, even when you're doing like a dewy foundation routine. For a blush, I like to use a blush that does have a little bit of a sheen to it whenever I do a dewy foundation routine, but honestly, you could use whatever kind of blush you want to. A cream blush would be really good too, though I would recommend that if you're going to do a cream blush, you do it before you set this foundation with powder. But today I'm going to use this Maybelline Master Highlight blush in the color Nude, and I'm just applying this with my Sigma large angle contour brush. So I'm just going to lightly brush that on my cheeks. And then to just really accentuate like that highlighted look, I like to use a powder highlight on top of that cream highlight that I used earlier. And today I'm going to be using the L'Oreal True Match Lumi Powder Glow Illuminator, and this is in the color Ice. I think this it looks so beautiful. I used this in like another tutorial recently, but ever since I used it in that tutorial, like I cannot put it down. Even though I've had, sorry, my phone just went off. Even though I've had this highlight for a little while, so I'm just going to brush that here like on my cheekbones. And then I will put this down like the center of my face, here on my nose. So just whatever highlight you want to use. And that's just going to add to like the glowy, like dewy effect. And then if you really wanted to enhance that glowy, dewy look, you could always set your foundation with like a makeup setting spray, because that just really tends to just make your skin glow, and it also helps to set your foundation and keep it lasting all day. And whenever you do like a dewy foundation, sometimes it doesn't last as long as like a matte foundation, but I do find with this L'Oreal True Match Lumi, it does last for a really long time on my skin. But especially when I set it with a makeup setting spray, it lasts even longer. And this e.l.f. Makeup Mist and Set is my favorite drugstore makeup setting spray. So I'm just going to mist this on. Like you can tell that it's been raining today because like my hair is so flat today. Anytime it rains outside, like my hair has no volume and it does not hold curl at all. So that is how I go about doing my dewy foundation. I hope that you guys did enjoy this tutorial. I love the L'Oreal True Match Lumi Foundation. Like I told you guys, this is my all-time holy grail favorite drugstore dewy foundation. So if you guys did enjoy this routine, please let me know. Give it a thumbs up. Don't know what my hair's doing. Or let me know down in the comments. If there's some other foundations that you'd like to see routines on, or if there's other foundations that you guys would like for me to review, please let me know down in the comments, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye-bye.